What's going on, guys? It's your boy BG, and welcome to Common Sense, where common sense isn't so common. In today's topic, we're going to talk about, I'm just going to call it, I want to call it burnout, but I want to call it step-by-step one-on-one ratio. And what I mean by that is, I'm talking strictly from my brain, how I'm currently feeling right now. And, last week I had very, very poor scheduling with everything. Very, very poor scheduling. And then my mind was just in so many directions. Some nights I actually lost sleep due to me trying to do several things at one time. And all I want to say is just don't be a slave to yourself. Because I had to sit down and really just reflect on it a couple of minutes ago. And just don't be a slave to yourself. And what I mean by that is you are a leader of your dreams, but you're not a boss. Bosses command and control other people. But in this instances, what I mean by don't be a boss of yourself, don't command your mind to do things that know that it'll kill it. What a leader does is it leads people. What you have to do is lead your mind. Don't be a boss of it. Lead it. Lead it like be a leader of it. Let your soul lead your mind. And in a lot of cases, when you let your mind lead your soul, it leaves you quite depleted a lot of times. It leaves you in like a pit of, I ain't gonna say despair, how it would be like a 9-to-5 job. It's like you enslaving yourself. And in a lot of cases, I know to myself that I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself doing this podcast. Not only for the fact that I love to talk, I love to speak my mind, I love to speak inspiration to people, but also I want to do it for me. And the overall goal of this podcast is to help people and not thinking about just the money, just the impact that I could have over another individual to help them better themselves, which leads me to having income, of course. And having that income and having that money leads me to having freedom. And that's the whole purpose, is freedom. Helping people and people helping you. And the things that people do to help you, you use that as a getaway for freedom, which is money. Because, of course, whatever you're doing as far as like music, podcasting, anything that helps people naturally, the income will come your way. And that's why I always say impact over income. And what I mean by one-to-one ratio, it's one of you. It's only one of you, and it's only one goal, one huge goal. My huge goal is freedom, and I believe that a lot of people, their huge goal is freedom. And of course, what obtains freedom? Money, right? And just, you can't do several things at a time. You can't do, it's only one of you. It's not like you have multiple people who know Naruto, right, can make shadow clones. You can't make a shadow clone of you, right? And you only could do but so much under a certain amount of time, especially if you're a person like me that's working a 9-to-5 job and just operating on whatever time that's there. Because there are some times throughout the week I try to do this, I try to do that, and I try to do that, and I try to do this. And it all came down to me being ultra burnt out, because when I came home, I meditate and I end up going to sleep 2 or 3 hours. Now my mind is telling me to keep pushing. My body is telling me you're tired, but my mind is telling me keep pushing. But then after a while, my mind starts getting burned out too. So once your mind shuts down and you can no longer operate, that's already a sign that you're kind of pushing yourself a little bit too hard. Not too hard, because you should be able to be a little bit harder on yourself 90% of the time, because it's only you that can get to the place that you want to be at in life. So you got to hold yourself accountable to a lot of things. But sometimes you got to show yourself some grace. Sometimes you got to show yourself a bit of slack, because if you've done something for a while and you've been consistent at something for so long, you have to cut yourself some slack. You got to let your mental build, right? And you don't want to kill the only thing that is the key component of operating whatever you're doing, which is your mind. And once when the mind destroys, once when the mind is destroyed, then the body goes along with it. And you got to make sure you got to keep your mind intact when doing anything that you want to do out of your lifespan. You don't want to tire yourself out. You don't want to overly exert yourself. And a lot of people may say, well, the time that you have, or if I told them my situation, well, you could manage your time a lot better. Whoop, 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 whoop. That's true. I honestly could believe that myself. I can manage my time a lot better. And these is just one of the humps and one of the perks of getting to where you want to be, because a lot of times you have to use the cards that's dealt. That's what successful people do. They use the cards that's placed on the table, and they make what they have work to get where they need to be. And a lot of cases, me, I'm in the vicinity, or I'm in a mind state of learning more about money, learning more about financial wealth, and learning about how to change my mindset, learning all these things, and studying crypto, studying stock market, and studying retirement, IRAs, Roth IRAs, SEPs, 401ks, so 401ks, things of that nature. And it's a lot to bear in when you're trying to do a podcast. And then I have another project that was previously created, and I stopped for reasons that I wasn't able myself to maintain it. Now I'm in a process of making this project get back to where I left off at, because I know that this project is going to be another source of income for me. And then there's another project that I'm working on too that I haven't told a lot of people about, and that's taking a lot of my time, and that has to be my priority too. And I know myself that I'm only one of me, so I have to manage out my time a lot better, and just trying to do several things with just 4 or 5 hours, knowing that you have to also be mentally right to work a 9-to-5 job. If you're working a 9-to-5 job, you have to be mentally right. You have to be mentally stable to be able to at least work and keep the job that also funds your business. That's the whole goal. You have to start off somewhere to get where you need to be. And that's like on a regular 9-to-5. And when you working a regular 9-to-5, use that as a leverage of supporting your business. But I'm doing so many things throughout the week, and my mind is so discombobulated. It's like it's in several directions. And just me, I think a problem, but sometimes with myself, and probably a lot of people, they focus on the result instead of the process that leads to the result. They so focus on the outcome and where it leads instead of enjoying the journey that leads to the outcome. And at times when you focus on the result so much, you forget about the process that you're going through to get there. And you want to enjoy the process. You want to be able to make sure that each step that you do pays dividends. Each step that you do, you enjoy each step. That's what makes the result more profitable, more exhilarating, you show more gratitude towards it, because you knew what it took to get there, and you enjoying the process. You never got tired of the moment. You never want to make the process seem like it's work. Not work, but you want to enjoy it. You want to make sure it's fun. You want to make sure that you enjoy it. And then when you make your work, your business seem like it's always work, then you technically enslaving yourself like a 9-to-5, because you work at a 9-to-5. No one likes a 9-to-5 job, regular work. And just working a regular work, like if you just work ain't supposed to be fun, right? And when you take your business as simply work and no type of fun, like you're not enjoying the process throughout it, it tends to mentally break you down, because now you treat your actual business like it's a 9-to-5 job. And some people may say you have to take it like that. And yeah, you kind of do, but you also have to make sure that you enjoy it. You don't want to make it seem like it's a 9-to-5 and you just fucking hate it. That's a difference. You got to somewhat enjoy the work as you go along there. And just enjoying that is just making sure that you take one day at a time, one step at a time. Everything pays dividends. If you got to read one time a week, one or twice a week, that's cool. Those days that you read, they pay dividends over the course of time. And if you're working on multiple projects, like sometimes you got to focus on one thing before you focus on several things. And that can sometimes be my personal issue, you know? That's why I went through the case of like burnout. I felt as though I was just burnt out. Like you don't want to get tired of a habit that you implement to make you better. You don't want to make it seem like your habits are like a job that you just fucking hate to do. Because we all have jobs. I mean, for those, like I said, for those who have 9-to-5s, and it's a lot more weight when you're juggling with time of just simply working a job, working on you, and then working on your business. Because all those are basically like businesses. Oop, I accidentally hit the mic. Yeah, all those are basically like businesses, man. And it's just that my mind just been so much spaced out. And I'm just working on just being more organized with myself, because I want to, make this type of content for the people. I want to be able to keep going to support the people and support myself, vice versa. There are days where I look around me and I'm so afraid that if I just fall out of line of what I'm doing, I'll end up like the people who I dislike, who I just don't want to be like, just people who work average jobs, and if you really do see more for yourself, it takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot out of you. And me doing this podcast, I found a way to have a bigger reason for my life. I use this podcast as a way of just helping people and helping myself, vice versa. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting a little bit emotional a little bit, because it's like, this is me that you're really hearing. This is Braxton you're really hearing. This is like the real me. Not saying that the other podcasts wasn't the real me, but it's so much weight. It's so much weight when you have people relying on you. And I'm starting to realize that you have to be there for yourself before you're there for other people. You have to really just be there for you more than anything. And I've been there for me a lot of times. Not saying I don't have friends that's there for me, but before your friends is there for you, you have to be there for you. You have to show yourself love. You have to show yourself comfort. You have to show yourself that you are there for you. You have to show you that you are your support beam to everything that you do. And just reminding yourself that will give you a sense of comfort. Reminding you that you're not alone. Like, you are there for you and God is there for you. Things may just be hard, but tell yourself a lot of times that I'm there for you. I will always be there for you. When you backed in the corner, I'm always there. When no one believes in you, I damn sure do. When you feel stressed, when you feel under pressure, I'm there to help you relieve that pressure. When your mind is just in different spaces, I'm there to help balance you out. When there's a lot of weight on your shoulders, I'm there to take those weights off. Just being so self-conscious of yourself. Being so there for you. Being so like I do what I do because I do it for me, and because I do it for people that need me, that people who I'm very, very, very transparent with. And it's a lot to take in when you know that weight, that goal is so much bigger than you, and it really is so much weight to take in. it's a lot to digest when you know that your purpose fits larger than just you, your family, and money, right? People can look back on these moments and just listen, like me building this podcast is like my whole backbone right now. Even investing, right? Even investing, crypto markets. These are things that's going to really help me elevate. And I got to make sure that I'm taking one day at a time, one day at a time to just support those things that's going to help me get there, but also mentally support myself. And sometimes you really just get lost in the sauce. Like you so locked in on your purpose that although your purpose is bigger than you, you also got to remember what is the purpose for you, like why you're doing it for you, the purpose for yourself and then the purpose for people. And I think those two different types of purposes. Why do you do for you and why do you do for others? And how those two make the combination of the huge purpose itself. Why I do for me? Because it helps me to, I'm going to tell you my reason is why I do what I do, why I work as hard as I work, why I balance as much time as I do, is because of the fact that this exact thing that I'm doing, once again, it fits for so much of a bigger purpose. The things that I do, it not only helps, I can see this being a gift that opens doors, many doors for myself. And I can build, this is something that helps me build my empire. This is something that helps me build longevity of wealth. This is something that helps me to help people to get to the same level as myself. This is something that it helps me in so many directions, because now knowing what helps me grow, it's now I'm locked on what's my purpose. Because I have self-purpose, now I have all-purpose. And my all-purpose is to help people. My all-purpose is to help people to obtain freedom. My all-purpose is to help not only my friends, my family, but build this generational wealth to help my kids, because I know that if I stop what I'm doing, I'll be fucking dead wrong. And J. Cole said it the best. If I stop what I'm doing now, I'm giving up on a lot of people that put a lot of faith in me. And I know it sounds like, you're relying on too much on people. You do it for people. What about you? I'm here to support people. I'm here to build people. This is what I'm made to do. I done implemented in my head for 6 to fucking 8 months. I implemented in my own head that this is me. This is what I'm meant to do. And nobody's not going to steer me away from it but me. If I steer myself away from it because I chose to do it. And if I do that, look how many people I'm really letting down. People who really genuinely support me in everything that I do. So now I'm in too deep. I can't stop what I'm doing, because I know that there's people out there that's listening. I know that even if it may not feel like that I'm moving, I'm indeed moving. I'm indeed pushing forward, and I'm indeed prevailing at what I'm doing. And everything that I'm doing now plays a part in my journey. This is my journey. This is my calling. This is me. This is the genuine version of me. Everything that I'm talking about is so purely me. I'm crazy into my emotions right now. And I want to let you guys know that I am. Because I never want to give up on myself and then give up on the people that rely on me. That's why I got to make sure to me that I have to take everything one day at a time. I got to make sure to me that everything that I'm doing is out of pure good intentions. Everything that I'm doing, anyone can benefit from it. Like, if I'm making $1 million or $10K a year, a $10K a month, you know what I'm saying? I know that 2 or 3K can go towards something to help somebody else. 2 or 3K can 5K or 20. If I manage to get 20 bands, you know what I'm saying, a month off of just purely doing my podcast, I know that me doing this, some of that money could be funded to help people who really need help with their businesses, or people who I can help within my circle that want to improve their business. I want to be a supporter of people, but supporter of myself. So that's why I say it's a 1-to-1 ratio with you and your goals. It's only one of you, and it's only one overall goal. And for you, each step, it's only you yourself that can take every step, every one step of the way. Every one step is you. I'm always on me. I'm always in my own mind, because it's like God and me are connected, right? But my mind is connected to my soul. So when I talk to myself in my head, I'm the only one that's listening to me. I don't know how deep that runs, but I'm the only one that's listening to me, right? When I'm by myself, he's listening to me, but I'm also listening to me. And I also got to be supportive of me. And he's also always supportive of me. To everyone who has a business, to everyone who is doing something and doing multiple things that generate you multiple sources of revenue, please, please, please balance out your time and show yourself some love. Don't be a slave to yourself. Don't be a slave to your dreams. Be a leader of your dreams. Be able to carry you, but also enjoy all the processes of that. Because if you're just being a boss of yourself, you're literally torturing yourself. And that's what bosses do. They command people to do things for them. And he is commanding of everyone else while everyone else hate him, right? And being a leader of your mind is like you're leading yourself. You're picking yourself up and carrying yourself to the finish line. You're making sure that you get there safe and sound, and you're not enslaving your mind. You're not doing things that breaks all the workers in your mind to keep going. And if you're being a boss to yourself, you're forcing yourself to do things that is breaking you more than making you. Literally. If you're a slave to your own mind, you're literally building your wall. You're building your empire, and the same token breaking it. So you're not going anywhere with it. That's the worst thing that you could do to yourself. You have to make sure that everything you're doing is step by step. Step by step. Don't take 5 steps in one step. That's why there's steps. When you see a staircase of stairs, right? It's not one step, it's several steps. So you're literally taking one step at a time. One step at a time. It's only one of you. Please love yourself throughout the whole process of you growing. Love yourself and never forget why you're doing what you're doing. Because those things right there, including your mind, is what plays factor in how you grow as an individual and how you get to where you need to be and what you need to do to get where you need to be. Your mind is the one that organizes the steps for you to get there. And if your mind is not organized, then your steps are unorganized. You're doing several steps in one time. You never want to do that. You're overloading yourself too much. Please love yourself. Please show yourself some grace. 1-to-1 ratio. It's only one of you on one general goal. And guess what? When you're not involved, when you take you down, then your 1-to-1 ratio comes down with it. Meaning, when you break down, then the whole dream, the whole goal breaks down along with it. So, anyways, man, I wanted to really let a lot off my chest because I really had like a rough week, and it's so much weight on my shoulders too, you know. It's a lot of weight. Just being consistent for those who need me, and just being consistent for me. And make sure you guys rate this podcast 5-star. It's going to be on all platforms, including YouTube. And my apologies. I haven't really been uploading everything on YouTube, and that's on me. It's just that my mind been in so many areas. I haven't really found a space to where my mind can truly just rest. Even meditation, it hasn't been truly enough for me. I mean, I can't say it hasn't, but it's been giving me space, but I feel as though there's something else that I'm missing within that space of meditation that have been having me a lot unbalanced. And I think it's just been time. I think it's just been management. I think it's just been organization. And all those things just plays a factor in getting where I need to be. So to you guys, faith plus great work ethic creates a vulnerable opportunity. Faith plus great work ethic creates a vulnerable opportunity. And I catch you guys in the next episode of Common Sense Podcast. And I think this will be approaching episode 42. So anyways, guys, thank you for all your support. Thank you for hearing me out on this podcast. And I wanted to give you guys some wisdom. This was a really, really deep podcast to me, because it's just been a lot. 40 episodes going on 41 episodes going on 42. It's just been so much to really bear. And it's just that knowing that everything that I'm doing is for you guys and for me, and I want to be able to just grow with you guys. And trust me, I'm no different from anyone on this who is a listener. I'm no different from anybody that's listening to this. I still struggle with average things. I still struggle with things that people struggle with. Just because I'm more positive, I'm more elevated, doesn't mean I'm not going to have these challenges that's going to test these parts of me. I'm still human. I'm still human, bro. I'm not a robot. I'm not Mr. Perfect. I'm not any of these things. I'm just like you. I'm just a person that wants to be better, that wants a better life, that wants to reach that level. I want to be the best version of me, and that's why I'm so hard on me. So I hope that whatever gems I said in here, I hope it helps you out a lot, and I hope it helps you find some sort of clarity, because, all of this is a part of my journey. So yeah, I wish I really had video or audio of this, because you can really see my emotions is pretty bland, and it's really open. It's definitely really open. So I catch you guys later in the next episode of, once again, CS.podcast. I might just change my podcast name too, because a lot of people have pretty much similar names as me. I haven't made a decision yet. So anyways, but for now it's called the CS.podcast. Well, no, the CS podcast, the CS podcast. My Instagram is CS.podcast. My TikTok is CS.podcast, of course, still the same thing. And my Twitter is CS podcast S3S or some shit like that. I'll leave it in the comments down below. So, in the description. My bad. Catch you guys later in the next episode of Common Sense Podcast. See you.